What's happening, Raider Nation, and thank you for stopping back by the channel. This is your Week 3 season episode of the Raider Critique, where the Oakland Raiders are going to Miami to face the Dolphins, who are 2-0 at the beginning of this season, and we are 0-2. Now, I do want to apologize for the last video I posted up. It did not come out the way I wanted it to, due to all the watermarks that came in on the reaction video. Obviously, I've got to figure out either one, a different way of doing it, or two, completely scratching that program and finding a better program, or three, paying for the program. So I really do want to apologize about that, because that video hopefully this episode is going to come out a lot better than the last one. And it should, due to there will not be that many cuts and anything like that. You might see one or two watermarks, if that, compared to the last one where it had like 14. So I'm real sorry about that. And as you can tell, this is my first video this week since that wretched video I posted up last. Times have been busy. I've been working, and rain's just been coming in just as fast as we can hurry up and get things done. So I haven't been able to really put a lot of thought process into this video, but it's still going to be better than last because, well, at least I was able to download all my Raider content because I've got the YouTube Premium, and I'll download all the podcasts and everything I listen to, from One Nation on Air to Watch Raider to Murph's Fan Cave. I really love Splatterhead and Fitz, man. I'll even, I download a lot of the Raiders press conferences and things like that, and I'll listen to them while I'm working. When I get home, I'll watch. If I want to watch something funny, I go and I check out Samoan Raider. And if I want to go and look at reaction videos and post-game reviews, I'll go to people like Mr. Raider and Raider John. There's just so much content out there that, I'll sit at home and I'll download all this stuff, man, and I'll have all this content to listen to while I'm working, which is awesome, man. This is so much better than back in the day. There's certain things that really do suck about nowadays, but there's certain things that are great, and that's definitely one of them. Well, in this episode, I want to go over the good of what happened last week. I want to go over the bad of what happened last week. I want to go on Pro Football Reference to analyze this game that we have coming up against the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. And I would like to go ahead and touch on a point from what a certain individual said at a press conference earlier this week. And I would like to go ahead and critique that. So, without further ado, this is your season Week 3 preview of the Oakland Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins in Miami on the Raider Critique. Let's hit the intro. Right, so I said that we were going to go ahead and go over the bad spots, which I want to call the cringe, because that's what it is cringeworthy watching when we do these idiotic things that we do. Now, there's going to be a lot of things that we noticed here that have been going on the last 2 weeks, and we cannot afford for this to happen in Week 3 against the Dolphins due to this team that I remember right. Last time we played them, we were torched by Ryan Tannehill, not only by his arm, but by his feet. So we really do need to understand that this team that we're playing is 2-0, and they're 2-0 for a reason. We need to understand, man, this is the cringe, dude. This is what we dealt with last week and what we dealt with Week 1. And here it is. The first thing, no pass rush. Here we go again. We're talking about no pass rush. I'm going to touch on this a little bit later on in this video, but of course we don't have any pass rush. All of our defensive line is hurt, and they've been trying to make moves to accommodate for these players getting injured, and it's just not panning out. Some of these moves are okay, and they're even talking about making moves now. And I really do believe that we're going to have to, if we're going to develop any type of pass rush, or maybe if we just send a little bit more blitzes in some different looks, maybe we can get back there with them, and create a pass rush. Lackluster play calling on both sides of the ball, and this I cannot harp on enough because it appeared its ugly face again last week when we lost 20-19 against the Broncos, man. And you can't run zone knowing that the team that your opponent needs only 3 points to take the lead with less than 2 minutes to go in the game. You can't just run zone, which is exactly what Paul Guenther did toward the end of the game, giving up all those yards to put them in field goal range and giving them an opportunity to even make the kick. Just absolutely terrible, lackluster play calling, along with the offensive side of the ball, who stalled out on third down on the drive prior because of lackluster play calling. And then not only that, but then, of course, then this happened. The crucial drop passes, which happened to be our fullback, and it's not really his fault. We're supposed to be putting the ball in the hands of our playmakers. You're supposed to be calling plays on fourth down that are supposed to be putting the ball in the hands of our playmakers. Keith Smith is not a playmaker. He's a blocker. He's a fullback. He's a run for short yardage kind of guy. It probably would have been smarter to hand the ball off to him on a fullback dive than it would have been to throw the football to him. Okay, there was just lackluster play calling, and the crucial drop pass really wasn't his fault, although he should have made that catch, and we should have had a first down. Although I really do think that we probably should have kicked a field goal instead of going for it, Penalties. Penalties. We're always talking about penalties on this channel. We're always talking about penalties regardless on if you're a Raider fan or a football fan in general, because penalties always happen. And penalties are always a crucial point in the game. If you have stopped the team on third down, but you're jawing with the referee, okay? You're jawing with the referee. Now, the good, we've got some good too, because Derek Carr did have the game of his life. He went 29-32 for 288 yards with a touchdown, no interceptions. We couldn't have asked any more out of this man right here, and we still couldn't win the game. And it's because of the lackluster play calling. Lackluster play calling and stupid penalties. We've got to tighten up. We've got to play sound football, because if we don't play sound football, personal fouls can cost us the game. Mr. Irvin, John with the referee. What were you doing jawing with the referee? What was the point of jawing with the referee? We stopped them. It was fourth down until, bam, personal foul, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's not how you help your team, and that's not how you present yourself as a captain. Jeez. And he told everybody in the press conference, and he told everybody throughout the week that he was going to be the first one to get that pick. He even said it in pregame, man. And I want to applaud Rashawn Melvin, man, for getting our first interception. He said he was going to do it, and hey, it was only one, but he still got it, and he got it with a lackluster pass rush. He really did. So, the only thing I can say is that there are some good things that we have done, and then there are some bad things that we really need to focus on. Let's focus on the play calling due toward the end of the game. Let's still be aggressive on offense and defense, But let's also know the game of football, and let's take the opportunities that are given to us to win the game. Take the field goal. Anyway, let's go ahead and go into the pregame for this week against the Miami Dolphins. Okay, so we're here on Pro Football Reference, which, as you can see right up here, and these guys break it down all the way down. Okay, 2018 leaders. Derek Carr is 58 of 72 for 591 yards and 1 touchdown. Jared Cook is our leading receiver with 13 receptions, 229 yards, no touchdowns. This is the first time I've looked at this page, so I will be looking at this the first time with you all this first time here. Marshawn Lynch is our leading rusher with 29 rushes, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill is 37 of 51, 398 yards with 4 touchdowns. Wow. Kenny Stills, 6 receptions, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kevin Drake has 25 rushes for 101 yards with 1 TD. You know, this is basically what it's breaking down to. Team ranks, our home record is 0-1, their home record is 1-0, our away record is 0-1. You know, I mean, it breaks everything down here. Record versus the spread is 1-1, and their record versus the spread is 2-0. Points scored, man, we are 32nd. Well, with 32 points scored. We're 28th in the league. They've scored 47 points, and they are 13th in the league. We have allowed 53 points. That's 24th ranked in the league. They have allowed 32 points. That's 4th in the league. Okay, takeaway difference is -2. They are +2. 25th, man, we are 25th in takeaway differential. Passing yards a game is 290, that's 8th, and they are 172, that's 28th. So don't expect them to be throwing the ball deep down the field unless, you know, they get one good lucky pass play. Now, our rushing yards a game are 93, which is 21st, and theirs is 127, which ranks them 6th. Defensive pass yards per game, man, 221. That ranks us as 11th. That's not bad. Okay, we are 11th in pass defense. They have 270 yards against their defense, which ranks them 24th. Okay, and then the defensive pass or the defensive rushing, we are last. We've given up 154 yards, 31st. Or I don't know what that is, 154. Well, we're giving up 154 yards a game. So yeah, we're almost the worst in the league against the for the rush defense, and they only give up about 79 yards a game, which makes them 8th. So yeah, that's pretty terrible. That's pretty terrible. They might be able to run the ball on us a lot. This is the injury report. This is for the Miami Dolphins. I figured we could go ahead and look at this. You've got Josh Sitton, a guard. He's out for a shoulder. It's a rotor cuff. He's been placed on the injured reserve list. I don't know how long that's been out, but he's probably been there for a while. Marquise Gray, Achilles. He's on IR. He landed on the injured reserve list with a torn Achilles. And then you have Mike Cole, linebacker. He's gone with a knee. And Jake Brendel. So they're actually kind of hurt. Now, there is one dude on this list I've noticed, Ryan Tannehill. It's an ankle. It's probable that Tannehill is likely to be available against the Raiders on Sunday despite the ankle and knee injuries. So this guy's having lower body issues, so maybe he's not going to run on us like he's done in the past. All right. Kevin Drake, the running back, the dude who's been running all over everybody, he's expected to take part in Sunday's game against the Raiders despite an abdominal injury. And Devontae Parker, who broke his finger. Probable Parker has been held out for the past 2 games due to a broken finger, but he's likely to be available Sunday against the Raiders. Now let's go down here to our injuries. Let's go look at this, man. Chris Warren's out with a knee. He's on IR. Justin Ellis, of course, he's on IR, strained ligaments. And then you've got Andrew, DePola, Long snapper, he's gone. So look at all these guys that we have on IR. Eddie Vanderdoes is gone. Dexter McDonald, that's another one, man. Cornerback, he's gone on IR. Injured reserve due to an ankle. Now, let's go down here to the guys who are not gone for the year. Okay. PJ Hall is gone with an ankle. He's doubtful. Hall missed the previous game due to an ankle injury and is not expected to play Sunday against the Dolphins. Nick Nelson is a hamstring. He's questionable. Nelson is nursing a hamstring injury and it is unknown on if he will play in Sunday's lineup against the Dolphins. Rodney Hudson. Man, Rodney Hudson is in here. It's an ankle. He's questionable. Hudson is hampered by an ankle injury and is uncertain if he will be available for Sunday's game against the Dolphins. That doesn't look good. Gabe Jackson, it's a pectoral. He's questionable. Jackson has been dealing with a pectoral injury, and it is unknown if he will suit up Sunday against the Dolphins. I do believe he will. I honestly do believe that him and Rodney Hudson will both suit up. Leon Hall is he's ailing from an illness, but is likely to play. DeAndre Washington, knee, he's probable. So that's actually good, man. DeAndre Washington is probable. Washington is recuperating from a knee scope that was conducted during the preseason, but he's expected to make his season debut against the Dolphins on Sunday. So, hey, that's something new. I didn't know that. So he's actually going to make his debut for this season against the Dolphins. Brandon Parker, he's out with an ankle. It's probable. Parker's been bothered by an ankle injury, but is expected to be available for Sunday's matchup against the Dolphins. I hope he will be. Because if we do have any problems on that offensive line, we need somebody to step right in there. Dwayne Harris, he's probable with a foot. He sat out of the last game due to a foot injury, but it is unlikely to prevent him from playing against the Dolphins. And then Marshawn Lynch is on there with a shoulder again, but he's expected to suit up against the Dolphins on Sunday. So, let's see. Yeah, that's basically it, man. I do believe, Pro Football Focus is, it's on point when it comes to the injuries and everything like that. It's not really great for the stats, but I can tell you right now from looking at all this, dude, it's going to be a close game. And we have to go in and we have to dominate on both sides of the ball, and we have to make sure that our play calling is superb. We need to make sure that we make the same play calls, the sane play calls for the right situation in the game. Now, after looking at Pro Football Reference, I believe that this is going to be a relatively close game. And what I'm actually hoping for is a high-scoring game. Because I do believe that our offense can put up yards on this defense regardless of how good that they are. Showing exactly what we could do last week against Denver's defense, I don't believe that we should have many problems with Miami's defense. Their linebackers are kind of weak down in the middle, so I'm hoping that our wide receivers find open spaces along with our tight ends down the middle for big gains. Now, if everything does pan out correct and my fandom is actually correct on this one, we will come out on top 28-24. And that's basically what I believe, that if we can go and fix everything that we have done in the past 2 weeks and we can fix it this game, we can come out on top on this one. This season is not lost. And this team that we're playing here in the Dolphins is actually really good, but we showed last week that we're pretty good too. We're actually a very sound team with a decent roster that is built to win games. We really are, and we should have won last week. There was just a few things that we did wrong, which we've already discussed. Is why we lost that game. Well, I believe that if we tighten up and we fix all those and Derek Carr has the game that he had before, we come out on top 28-24. Now, I'm not going to go into relative stats of who's going to be my MVP or who's going to be my player of the game or how many touchdowns somebody's going to throw. I just believe that we're going to come out on top of this one. So now we get to this part. In a press conference that John Gruden had, he said that pass rushers are hard to find. Well, no shit. The pass rushers are hard to find. You let go of the best pass rusher in the NFL. Now, this is what I don't understand. When you don't say things like this when you are the guy who basically let the best pass rusher in the NFL walk from our team to the NFC. I mean, this is about the stupidest thing you ever could have said. Pass rushers are hard to find. No, you should have thought about injuries. You should have thought of, growing pains with a new defensive line. Not re-signing Navarro Bowman. I mean, yes, we had a lot of dead money wrapped up into people like Aldon Smith, who barely played a snap for us. But at least back then, we had pass rush. We've gotten rid of most of our pass rushers. We've added a bunch of these free agents, and they haven't panned out really. And now we're going to have to go back looking into free agency to see if we can develop some more pass rushers. But look, I'm not pissed off that you got rid of Khalil Mack. I understand why you got rid of Khalil Mack. As a matter of fact, I called it on why you got rid of Khalil Mack. But I do have a problem with you saying pass rushers are hard to find, knowing goddamn well that you had the best pass rusher in the NFL that you could have retained if you would have reached out to him, at least from what the rumors have said, and you didn't do it. This is what you asked for, John Gruden. You asked for this. Now, figure out different blitz packages. Bring somebody in like that Gillette dude that supposedly was texting you after you said this comment, asking to come and have a meeting with the team. You better do something, man. But you don't need to say things like this. I mean, this is what makes my job so easy, is when you come in here and you put your foot in your mouth after you say something like this. You're really going to come out and say pass rushers are hard to find. Wow. Dude, you ran, does it feel like you've ran straight into a brick wall yet? You had a pass rusher. And yeah, they're hard to find. You should have thought about injuries. Anyway, man, this is the Raider Critique. I'm signing out of here. I'm going to enjoy the game tomorrow. I hope everything comes out exactly the way I plan it to be. Now, I will not be doing a reaction video afterward due to the way that my videos came out before. My last reaction video came out before. Unless I actually just get a wild hair and try to mess with it to see if I can work out that watermark somehow. But until I can get a better program, I'm just probably not going to do it. So anyway, thank you for stopping by the channel. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. And if you are not subscribed already, please don't forget to like the video, comment down below, hit me up on Twitter at ngun421, and that's all lowercase letters, and gun is spelled with 2 N's. Now, if you can't figure that out, you can always go back to the very beginning of the video when I'm inside the shield, and it's right there up underneath there. So, anyway, Raider Nation, I'm signing out of here, and we'll see you guys again after the game.